Hey, it's me, DJ Soulbutter. I am back to do another random musically related top 10. And I just want to start off by saying that I am indeed a millennial and I refuse to apologize for it. And when I was going through a very influential time in my upbringing, these people were the ones I turned to for inspiration, even this guy right here. So, um, this top 10 will be my personal top 10 new metal bands of all time. And before I get into that actual top 10, let's start off with some honorable mentions. Let's go here with Evanescence, Cold Chamber, Il Nino, Head PE, POD, Edema, Static X, Mushroom Head, Union Underground, Breaking Benjamin, OTEP, Chevelle, Nonpoint, Powerman 5000, Snot, Godsmack, Flyleaf, Machine Head, and Papa Roach. And oh, I also need to mention Taproot. Their album, Blue Sky Research by Taproot, listen to that album. Amazing record. But anyway, let's get into this top 10. Let's have some fun. Here we go. Ooh, ah! I'm sorry, that wasn't good. Sorry. At number 10, Disturbed. A band that admittedly I was never that big on, but they were really popular at this time, so they got to be in the top 10. And they did have a couple good records. Their second album, Believe, that was a genuinely good metal album from beginning to end. And I'll always remember the lead singer, David Draymond, I believe his name was. Remember the piercings he had dangling? I'm always going to remember that. And that awkward middle part of Down with the Sickness when he's talking about his mommy, that was always really awkward to listen to, especially if you were around other people. But yeah, good times, I guess. At number 9, we have the band Kitty, the band that was pretty popular because they were the all girl metal band. And I always thought that label was pretty unfair because they did have talent. And their debut record, Spit, wasn't a good album. There was a couple good tracks on there. Obviously, their big hit Brackish, Charlotte, that was a good song too. And they did release good albums after that debut. Their follow up, Oracle, that was a good metal record. And they released an album this year, actually, Fire, which I did a review on my TikTok for, and I thought that was a good record as well. So if you're looking for a pretty decent, straightforward metal record, give that one a listen. And I also vividly remember having a big crush on their original guitarist, Fallon Bowman, but we don't need to get into that. At number 8, we have Seven Dust, a band that was pretty cool at the time. I remember always having somewhat of a special place in my heart, I guess you could put it, because growing up, usually being the only black kid at the metal concert, I remember walking around shows like, let's say, Ozfest and being like, oh, look, another one. That's cool. At least I'm not alone. And I looked them up and I realized they have 14 albums now. 14. I'm pretty sure I stopped listening to them after their fourth record, I think. And when I stopped listening to them, I remember he cut off his dreadlocks and now he has full blown long dreadlocks again. So it's been a while. Maybe I'll go back. I don't think I will. I don't think I need to. But yeah, they were good. At number 7, we have Linkin Park, and these guys were huge. This was a big band, and apparently they are back now. I mean, first of all, their music, record by record, really got much worse. It just kept getting, I don't know, just more harder to listen to as time went by. But Meteora, that record was dope. And again, I guess they're back now. I don't personally care, but I'm sure some people do. R.I.P. Chester Bennington. I push my fingers into my. Did you do it? Number 6, Slipknot. And this band definitely had quite the stranglehold on me for a moment there. I thought their first couple records, that self titled one, and their second record, Iowa, I thought Iowa was like a metal masterpiece at the time. I don't think I still feel that way today, but that still was a really great record. And they've put out consistently pretty good music throughout the years. That record they released, I believe, last year, I didn't think that was particularly good, but they're still pretty relevant, and I feel like they're still more than just a nostalgia act, so kudos to them. At number 5, Limp Bizkit. I know, it's cringe. It's kind of embarrassing to look back on now. They're pretty much seen as a joke in a lot of ways, but I'm not going to front. I was really into them at one point. I thought they were a lot of fun. And Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water, I'm sorry. I think that was a good album. And look, don't lie. When you hear break stuff, you get hyped. When that drop comes in, break your freaking face tonight. Give me something to break. Come on. Come on. At number 4, we have Mudvayne, and I will be willing to admit that maybe I'm ranking this band a little too high on this list, but in my personal opinion, and this might be a bit of a hot take, in the new metal genre, that specific time period in metal, I feel like LD50 is arguably the best new metal record that came out during that time. I really feel like that record was amazing. And also their follow up, The End of All Things to Come, that was really good too. And also, they were just really, really good musicians. I mean, I'm forgetting his name, the bass player, but he was incredible. Like, I would put him on a top 10 list of bass players. Like, he was really, really good. And yeah, I was a fan. At number 3, System of a Down. This band was incredible. I mean, when you look at all 5 of their records, and that includes Steal This Album, which was basically just B-sides from Toxicity, their catalog is pretty much perfect. I mean, I wish they'd make more music, but they probably won't. They can't get out of their own ways for some reason. But I always just loved their fusion of jazz and their personal culture into their music. It was always just really interesting in an amazing way. And this band definitely transcended the idea of new metal as far as that genre. They were definitely above all that, in my opinion. At number 2, Deftones, a band that is still to this day really incredible. White Pony, in my opinion, is one of the most important metal records since the turn of the century, and they've made plenty of great records. But one thing I want to point out, in my opinion, more than any band that I've mentioned on this list, including the band that's number 1, Deftones is the only band that has maintained a certain level of relevance when it comes to the music scene. They are not a nostalgia act. They're not a band that goes out on tour just banking on the idea that people will want to hear stuff from 15, 20, 25 years ago. When they release a new record, it matters. It's important. You want to know what they're doing now. And that's pretty damn special. So now I'm going to attempt a Chino scream. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not going to do that. Are you ready? Yeah, Korn. Korn's number 1. Of course they are. I definitely had a corn patch on my backpack. I definitely carved the band's name into multiple desks while I was in high school. I definitely wanted an Adidas jumpsuit, just like Jonathan Davis over here. Yeah, I mean, when you think about new metal, you think about Korn. I mean, they are the nucleus, they're the epicenter of what new metal was. I mean, their first record, Life is Peachy, Follow the Leader. I feel like Follow the Leader is maybe the most important new metal record. I mean, I feel like that was the record that kind of put new metal at the forefront. I mean, do you remember the corn spot on TRL? Now I'm really dating myself, but yeah, man, they were cool. They've definitely had their ups and downs when it comes to their records, but no one else can be number 1. I don't think you can really consider someone else. They were new metal. But yeah, that's my list. As always, thank you for watching. Peace, love, butter.